In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, I'd like to look at how you can take a complex segment from a track and have it operate as a single PiP object. I have a query from one of my subscribers who said, I have some elements on my track. It includes transitions and other features, and I'd like to treat that segment of my timeline as a PiP object, but it won't work for me. For example, they said I click on any single object, and then I can double-click or press the F2 key to get into my PiP Designer, but when I highlight more than one, I can't treat these complex elements as a PiP object. The PiP Designer won't handle them, so what can I do? Let me give you a way to approach this kind of dilemma. We're going to use a tool we talk about in another tutorial called a range. Now, if you notice when I have the timeline on the screen, it is the white inverted triangle. And to either side of that, there's a little golden box. If I drag to the right and to the left, I can create what's called a range. I can make it as large or small as I desire. But the minute I do, I'm treating the elements between the two markers as a specific unit. So let's take this, for example, and say this is the range we want to treat as a single PiP object. I have to produce the range, which means I render that segment as an independent clip. Now, this will not cause any problems with my current project, but with it highlighted, I simply click on Produce Range, and that takes me to my Produce section, and I'll just give it a name. We'll call it C-Test for now, and I'll click on Start. I'll pause the video while it does the rendering. Once the video is fully rendered, I'll go back to my Edit page, and I'll find that it took my object, C-Test, it put a copy of it into my media room. So now I can move my markers back to normal, and now my time indicator or playhead is functioning like it would in any other situation. But I've created a segment of this clip as an independent video clip called C-Test. Now, for example, in the end of this project, where I have this element on the screen, if I want a picture-in-picture, I can take this compound element that I've rendered, and we're going to enlarge my picture that it will be in front of here. And I can click on this, and now I can treat it like a PiP object. I can resize it as a single unit. I can position it wherever I want to on the screen. I can get into my PiP Designer and modify all kinds of features about it. And so now I have a picture-in-picture, and this is actually a complex rendering of a segment that was on my timeline, and in fact still is on my timeline. And when I play this, you can see that the compound elements, the transitions, the motion, everything that I had in that one segment on my timeline is now treated as an independent video clip that I'm using as a simple picture-in-picture in the rest of my program. So it's a very simple way to take that issue and solve it by using the Produce Range capabilities of CyberLink PowerDirector.